Hi guys, and welcome to another video by channel Vegan and Frodo. Today we are filming outside in the sunny Brisbane. It is absolutely beautiful out here in the park. Check that out. Lots of pretty boats and the bridge, and it's just quite spectacular, right? Isn't it? There you go. It's better. So, I thought I'd give you a quick video. I have a touring trip coming up, and I wanted to just do like this tips video of what I have already learned that is crucial and important to prep for a long ride, and perhaps it'll be helpful for someone. And I'm sure while I'm on the road and when I'm back, I will have many more things to tell you. But basically, the most important three things I guess to focus on is your gear. So this guy there, the bicycle. Number two is your body, so obviously, and number three is the road, right? So, okay, let's get into this. In terms of your bike, first of all, you want to make sure that it is in working condition. I have owned my bike only for 6-7 months, but I do ride quite a bit. So when I definitely make sure that you go and get it checked into service and get it all serviced before any of your long trips. Like before my 300k trip, I got it all checked out and sorted, and before this one that's coming. So basically the things that you want to look out for is definitely the tires, right? To make sure that they're not like too worn out, they're not too many little cuts in them. And so then both, obviously. Next thing is the brake pads. These guys over here, can see, yeah, so these are brand new because maybe there's some of these to see, but I needed mine changed and I didn't realize it. But right now they're pretty, like, see they're pretty big on both sides, pretty thick, ends. But before, on one side it was pretty thin, and because I never had to change brake pads, I thought it was reasonably normal. I didn't realize they got one out. Duh. But an interesting thing is, after I got them checked, now when I use my brakes and I'm riding, obviously it's a lot harder, and they're a lot more responsive. So before I had to go really quite in to brake, and they worked and it was fine. But now I actually notice a huge difference. So definitely your brake pads are something very important, very crucial. You want that to work. Okay. What else happened? Let's I should have put it the other way around, but it's no drama. Let's just take it around. Another thing you want to look into is wettability of your chain. What is that? This chain here, this guy. So before I was always worried about the lubing up the chain, right, and making sure that it's clean. And even though I haven't been perfect at it, because I got confused about how to clean it, and then I learned how to clean it properly. But anyway, wettability. So right now it is pretty. Okay, what is wettability? It is a term, I guess, which they define of how different. Oops, sorry. Okay, I'll show you in a close up. Sorry about that. How far apart these little connections are, right? Because it's a chain, it's like a mechanical device. Oh, whoops, got turned upside down. So it's a mechanical device, right? So it gets stretched out basically after a long amount of riding. And originally those bearings, they're like this close apart, right? But later on they can be stretched out like this, and when you're riding it can just snap off your bike, and that is very dangerous. So you want your wettability to be under 70%. And in fact, because I didn't know about it, what it was and how it all worked and stuff, when I went in I was at 100. So that was it was naughty and it was not good, and now I know about it. So check and make sure that you're not always just getting those cheap services. If you are doing quite a lot of miles, like a few thousand, Ks in a couple of months, you do want to check your chain as well, but usually if it's a good bike shop, they'll be able to help you out. They have like a tool that measures the distance, and they tell you if it's like what percentage it is. Another thing that I got changed on my bike because I needed to is the cassette. Like this guy here, mine was also pretty worn out and old. Like now it's quite amazing like how different the bike rides after I changed the cassette and the chain. Again, with the cassette, most of you would probably know, but you do want to at least to have a 32 cassette at the back. The guy was trying to swap it for 28, which is the number of these little teeth on the largest one. And I was like, no thank you, I need a 32. I had a 32, please give me that one, because it makes it much easier to climb hills. And I have quite a bit of elevation coming up late next week. Okay, and basically another thing we got done, well, my tape on my handlebars, this guy got rewrapped, but that's just cosmetic, it's not really that necessary. Well, it can be, because it stops the handlebars from being also icy cold in those early mornings, but it's fine really. And also I got the big full service, which meant he pulled apart the whole bike, greased up, lubed up every connection, just everything really, and he placed all the handlebars and seat and everything in the correct height for me, so it's the right fit for me. So that's important. Wow, we've been talking about it for like 6 minutes already. So basically, check out your gear, because this is like, check your equipment. It is important. You have to have working, good condition equipment. It is no one's responsibility to check it for you, so you need to get it checked out. And also, I've talked about this before, but just another little thing, make sure your sack bag has a spare tube, some patches, like a couple of patch kits, like a little patch kit, side of the road patch kit with some glue. You have your pump, you know how to change a tire, you have your little tiny multi-tool to whatever happens, but obviously that's going to help me when I'm going to pull apart my bike, when I'm going to fly with it at the end of my trip. Okay, equipment, body. Right, apart from your equipment being workable and good condition, you need to make sure that your body is in good and workable condition, if that makes sense. So you need to make sure that your muscles are not sore, you need to make sure that you're stretched out, you need to get massages. Like seriously, before this trip, I knew this trip was coming up, and I made a commitment to get a massage every fortnight and go to yoga every fortnight at least, like minimum, to get my body in that working, happy, flexible condition, so it will be able to take it. Because I know what it's like. Maybe I'm slightly not 100% sure what will happen, how it will go, right? But I want to be as prepared as possible. So that's, you know, getting all your muscles working and stretched out, and you know, using foam rolls on your calves, on your, you know, hamstrings and on your backside, just because when you are riding in that position for 10 or 12 hours a day, it can be like your body can get a bit stuck, because it is always in the same position. So beforehand, it needs to be all feeling good and smooth, and just like, you know, blood just needs to, you feel like the flow of blood, basically, if that makes sense. But you want to feel good, you want your body to feel good before you start. And while you're on the road, make sure you keep doing your stretches. I'm going to take a bit of liquid magnesium with me so I can spread all over my muscles, because it freaking works for me. It freaking works magic with my recovery. And another big thing is obviously mindset to be able to go quite that far, and nutrition. So definitely making sure that you get enough sleep every night, at least 8 hours. Of course, it depends on how many hours you've been riding, how many hours you physically have to sleep, right? But you need to make sure as much as possible to have those 8 hours every night. And now I'm thinking, how am I going to make myself do that? Anyway, this is something very important. And nutrition, like seriously, you do not want to bonk hard after freaking 70 Ks of a ride, or 80 Ks, or even 150 Ks. When you have another 50 Ks to go, you need to make sure that you're not eating enough carbohydrates. These should come from the plant-based raw sources. If you don't have access to them, go for dried fruits, go for starches, go for rice if you can find it. or even, you know, worst case scenario, some bread. But you do not want to get undercarb. You do not want to be hungry. That's like, it's not just one ride though. It's not just one day. It'll be ongoing day after day. So you want to be eating enough to sustain today's ride, but also the day after, the next day's ride, right? So you want to have enough storage in your body always. And hydration. Keep on drinking, smashing that water as much as you can. Always have water with you. Always have some sort of dates or raisins or apple, banana, whatever you choose, whatever fruit you like. Just have some of that. Don't be afraid of that sugar. That sugar is gonna give you the power, basically. Always have a plan B. For me, it is going to be some raw sugar. Well, it's not going to be raw, it's going to be coconut sugar with me. Just in case, plan B, if anything, right? If I don't have access to real food, that will be like my last resort, because I don't basically want to get undercarb and not being able to ride. And also want to enjoy my rides, right? Mentally as well. So that also helps with the mentality of it. Download some audiobooks, have a little radio player with you available, have just like lots of music, some podcasts, and good thoughts to think about as well. Like, understand, because ideally you do have someone there with you, but if you are wanting to give yourself a real challenge and go solo, that's the next level, and that is, I'm feeling, going to be lots of fun. Okay, and let's go into the last thing, the road. I'm trying to keep it brief, seriously, but I want to share this information because I think it might be helpful. And it is definitely helpful, because this is what I have learned and what has been working for me so far, basically. Okay, number 3, knowing your road. So you do want, especially when you go into a new place and you haven't ridden that way before and all the roads are unfamiliar, or you just, you know, it's all new. So what you want to do is you want to research where you are going. You need to research the routes. Use Strava, use Garmin, use ridewithgps.com website. These are really, really great tools to build your route and to see what routes have been done by other cyclists in the area. Because if you see that many other cyclists have done that route, it's probably a good route. I won't like reveal where I'm going just yet, but you will definitely see it in my upcoming vlogs and my just side of the road. Lots and lots of videos like that are coming. But basically, know your route. It is super important. And when you're using Garmin, in the past, I thought it was useful. Like, I was just like, I'll just type in the place name of where I'm going, and it'll take me there, and it will take you there. But what kind of roads is it taking you on? Unless you have it specifically written there, which kind of roads you prefer to take. So what is more helpful, what I found more helpful with the Garmin, is entering different little points. So for example, if you were to go from here to, I don't know, Rainbow Beach, right? You don't just ride from Brisbane to Rainbow Beach. You have those smaller breakdown points of how you're wanting to get there, which route you're going to take. Because Garmin will take you like the shortest route, and it will be through some hilly roads, which, or like through mountains, which might be already closed. And I came across that issue when I was touring last, that it took me through this road, which was not an open-ended road, but the Garmin thought that I could get out of it, but it was just like someone's driveway, and it led you to like this cult community place, and it was crazy. It was kind of funny as well. So basically that experience taught me that it is important to know those little smaller towns that are going to be on the way. Ideally, maybe every 30 k's, you want to have some sort of point or destination where you're going that will make your trekking and mapping much, much easier. And know your road the best as you can, right, without actually riding it. Okay, this video is pretty long, but I hope you got some useful tips out of this. Thanks for being again on the channel. Watch this space. We have amazing things coming, lots of crazy awesome rides and beautiful, beautiful vlogs, and hope you're enjoying this beautiful Brisbane view, and I'm enjoying this weather. Lots of love to you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.